Hey guys, my name's Grant. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to change a tire. So first thing you want to do is put the car in park and apply the parking brake so it doesn't kill somebody. And next thing you're going to want to do is find your spare tire. And so I've already got mine out. I've got my jack and my tire iron with it. And those are basically the only two tools you're going to need to change your tire. Alright, so now that I've got my tire and iron and my jack, I'm going to want to loosen up the lug nuts first before I lift up the car with the jack. So you want to loosen up the lug nuts so that when you eventually lift the tire up off the ground, you're not spinning the tire. Like when it's on the ground, the ground just kind of helps it stop from spinning, but when it's in the air, you're not going to really get anywhere but trying to loosen it up. So what you're going to want to do is make like a 90-degree angle with the tire iron, and you're just going to, fits just right in to the lug nut here. And remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So you just want to lift this up to the left here, and so that should be loose enough. And you just want to keep doing that with each lug nut until all of them are eventually just a little bit loose. You don't want to take them out or anything. Just loosen them up a little bit. Alright, so now that I've loosened up the lug nuts, I'm going to show you how to position your jack. So basically, I'm going to try to get your seat under here, the car. There, I'm not sure if you can see this, but there should be a little metal part here with a little notch in it. And so when you place the jack, you definitely don't want to place it on the plastic, because if you place it on the plastic, it's just going to break basically, and it's going to cost a lot of money. So you're going to want to place the jack so that this centerpiece, right here, this little groove in it, is right in line with that of the metal piece right there. Alright, so now that you've got the jack right under that groove there, you want to make sure that's straight, and then you're just going to want to start lifting it up. So to lift it up, you kind of just want to do kind of like you're tightening something. So it's just righty tighty, lefty loosey to lift it up here, and make sure it doesn't move too much. And so you can see here, you just go around like that, and it's not like a lug wrench where you could just bring it back and then twist it forward. You have to actually take it off, then put it back on here, and then twist it to the right again, and then again, until the top part right there is nice and snug with the groove in the car. Alright, so now that you've got the jack snug and tight with the groove in the metal end of the car, you're basically just going to want to keep lifting it up until the tire here is about say an inch off the ground. And to do that, you literally just keep on going to the right here until it gets up. And this is my second time doing this, so it's going to take me a minute. Just going to pause the video right here. Alright, just a quick side note here while I'm tightening. I've got a 2019 Chevy Equinox, and basically your car just might be different. There might not, the spare tire might be in a different place. You might just have different directions. So basically what you're going to want to do is just consult the owner's manual before any of this, and the owner's manual should be able to tell you what you need to do to jack up the car, take off the lug nuts and everything like that. Alright, and just another side note, when you're tightening this, see how the tire iron kind of bends? You could do 180, 90, stuff like that. When you're tightening it, make sure you don't scratch your car, because I had a little bit of a scare. I just hit the plastic, but just make sure you've got a good grip and you don't lose track of it and end up having to drop $100. Alright, so now that I've got the tire a good inch, half inch off the ground, you're just going to want to take out the lug nuts. So I've already got one out. So with some of these, because I've already loosened it up, some of these I can just literally twist by hand and it should pop out. And basically, if you can't get it out like that, just do what we were doing earlier when we loosened it, and get the tire iron, and then just go counterclockwise, lefty-loosey, until you can take it out, like so. And you just want to do that for all the lug nuts until you get them all out. Alright, so now that you've got all the lug nuts out, you basically just want to pull the tire off and set it down on its side so it doesn't like roll away or anything. So like so. Give me a second. I'll scratch up the chrome. And perfect. Alright, so now that you've got the tire off, you're basically just going to put the spare tire on. And so I don't have a flat tire right now, so I don't need a spare tire. So I'm just going to put on my old tire that I had on before. And what you want to do is line up these holes with the, whatever these things are called here. Things that the lug nuts tighten into. And so once you've got it lined up, you want to stand up, get a good grip on it, lift, and just try to fit it in. Like that. Perfect. So, at least with this car, it should like lean kind of towards the top here. So it's not just going to stay like this. So you're going to want to put the lug nuts back in, start twisting them. And when you're putting them in and tightening them up, you're going to want to do it in like a star shape. So, for example, you don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to want to go 1, 3, 5, and then 2, 4. Because when you're tightening a star pattern, the wheel's not going to like shift or be at an angle. So it's going to be nice and straight. Alright, so now you can basically just tighten the lug nuts by hand before you lower the jack. And so really just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and try going that start pattern. I'm not sure if it really matters when you're just putting the jacks or putting the lug nuts on for the first time, but when you actually like are tightening up against the ground, you're really gonna want to go in that start pattern. So I'm just doing this. Just be careful. And now that I've got all these lug nuts in, and they're at least tight enough that the wheel's not going to go anywhere, I'm basically just going to want to get my tire iron and jack it down. And jacking down is literally the same exact thing as jacking up, except you're going to want to go counterclockwise. So you're just going to keep doing this until eventually the wheel is comfortably on the ground and you can take the jack out. Okay guys, so I was just informed by my dad that you're not going to want to just tighten it by hand. You want to tighten it up a little bit more because you can see right here the bottom's kind of kicked out a little bit and it's kind of loose. So basically just get the good old tire iron and tighten it by hand a little bit. And then also, when you're doing it like this, it doesn't really matter if it's the start pattern or not, but if you want to do it like that, whatever floats your boat, dude, just go for it. Okay, so now that my dad's happy, you're basically just going to want to keep on lowering this until eventually it's not like snug with the groove in the metal part anymore. Alright, so now that you've got all 4 wheels in the ground, basically you're just going to want to tighten them up, make sure you do the start pattern. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to want to go 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. So I already tightened up the first one, so now I'll tighten up this one right here. This one's actually kind of loose, which is not great, but go. Just make sure it's really snug. So that's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you go to 5. And just want to make sure it's really good in there. 1, 3, 5, 2, finally, 4. This one's also loose. And perfect. So now basically just put away your old tire where the spare tire was, and you should be all set. Make sure you got everything put away, and remember to consult the owner's manual before you do any of this. Yeah, awesome.